Hi, welcome to Happier Ladies. We're sisters who discuss all things related to work, family, and personal growth.
We draw inspiration from everywhere, especially from you, our listeners, to keep moving forward with joy and laughter in the big adventure that is life.
1 week at a time.
I'm Azizi Williams. I live and work in the LA area. I'm a mom of 2 adult children, and I'm an education professional in the independent school world. I'm here with my sister, Malika Amandi.
That's me. I'm a SoCal native living in Western Massachusetts, a mom of 2 littles, and I work in higher ed.
In this episode, we discuss our dream job, and then I share thoughts from a conference.
But first, Azizi, remember I had my Airbnb debacle
Yeah,
a couple weekends ago?
it was a pretty big deal.
It was. So I just wanted to report that I got the fees refunded for that weekend
Hey, congratulations.
from Airbnb. So we didn't pay for it. Still wouldn't want to do it again, but we got all of our money back.
That was the right thing to do for Airbnb.
Yeah. And it wasn't too much of a hassle. So
Good.
I still am on the fence. I have 2 more days where I could write a review or not.
Right. I knew you were. I was like, are you going to give him 1 star?
I don't know. I'm so torn because I know that they genuinely feel bad about it. Given the circumstances, they did everything that they could and were responsive and checking in,
Yeah. Yeah.
But on the other hand, it was an avoidable situation.
Right.
If they had gone to the house before and checked these things,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have been in that scenario. But I know how much reviews matter. I don't want to say it would tank their thing because they've got all good reviews. But even if I just described it as it happened, I wouldn't stay at a house where that happened.
Yeah.
Like if I was reading the reviews,
I wouldn't.
you wouldn't review or you wouldn't stay at a house.
I probably just wouldn't review at all.
That's what I'm leaning towards.
Yeah.
But there is some sense of I don't know, justice.
No, I don't need it.
I don't know. Somehow I feel like I do because I got my money back. You'd think that would be enough, right?
Yes.
But I still feel unresolved and I don't know why.
Really? Do you want an apology letter from them or something?
In our last exchange, I had said that we would love the chance to experience the house under different circumstances. If they were open to giving us a discount, we would come back later in the year.
I see. Yeah.
And they just never responded to that,
Yeah.
which is fine. But I feel like, I don't know.
Just let it go.
Okay.
Just let it go.
Okay. Okay.
You got whole again, and
Okay.
maybe it was a bad day for them. And it was a weather event of the century.
That one wasn't the one of the century, Azizi.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. This was a few days before.
There was a lot of weather, so we can just assume good intentions and move on.
Okay.
All right.
I'm releasing it here.
Or write the letter and don't send it. Write the review in your notebook. That feels good.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. And now it's time for Who Am I?, where we ask a question that will help you understand who you are. And this was Malika's idea.
Yes. I heard about somebody, actually through you, someone I don't know, who had a job that was a good job. They were looking for another job, which people do from time to time. And basically, they left their really good job because they said they had a life-changing salary offer. And so they couldn't pass it up. And so they stopped what they were doing to do something different because it was a life-changing salary. And that got me thinking. I couldn't stop thinking about that. Oh, what would that be for me?
Right.
What would a life-changing salary be that I would just drop everything I'm doing? And, I work for a public university. It's not hard to be.
Yeah, we're both in education.
That number doesn't have to be that high, but more than the financial aspect of that, it just got me thinking, is there any job that if I was offered it, I would just have to be of course I accept and I'm going to change my whole life to make this work.
Yeah. So what's that job for you?
So there are a few that I was thinking about. They seem a little random, but I guess some deep part of me is interested enough that I would be like, okay. So I've thought about 3 things.
All right.
So the first one is Google is the company that came to mind, but I'm sure I'd be willing to work for Meta if it.
In this scenario, there's like a bidding war between Google and Meta for your services.
Google, Meta, and Apple. But if I was asked to come in to do some kind of like design thinking role.
Oh, yes.
They're like, we've heard about you.
Yes.
Put together this team of really innovative thinkers, and we just need people to really strategize and give us the biggest ideas that we need to move forward. You know, this is going to be a life-changing situation. Maybe it's even just like for 1 year. We want you to be in this special think tank and help us go to the next level. We're looking for artists. We're looking for this.
Right.
And you just have the right experience. Will you come to Google?
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yes, I will.
I will do it.
Accept this mission. I love how when you started talking about this, your eyes were closed. Like you were really visualizing this moment and where you are when you get the call that it's you they need. I would watch this movie.
I just feel so excited.
Yeah.
The idea of like just collaborating like with other people's brains, thinking. It's like it's uncharted. We're just innovating.
I love this for you, Malika. And I had similar thoughts also, because when I was in graduate school, we had a week of design thinking kind of boot camp. And I think I talked about this. We had instructors from the D school at Stanford come, and we did a whole unit sort of from top to bottom in teams. And then there was a portion where we had to go out into New York City and do empathy interviews with random people, bring back what we learned, design this product. It was so exciting. It's exciting to do that kind of work. It's exciting to be on a team where you play an important role.
Yes.
And then, the Google, Meta, Apple money. Because they're probably designing something that's going to be life-changing, right? Like everyone's going to know about this product, service thing. I get it. Okay, what's your next dream job?
All right. So the next dream job is like Oprah calls or someone from Oprah's team. Realistically.
Because Oprah's not calling anybody,
She's
really.
not making phone calls.
She's not going to pick up the phone.
Someone from Oprah's team calls and they say, we have heard about you and your coaching, and we want you to come work with our staff to be like our on-staff life coach, to work with our C-suite and, of course, with Oprah too.
Yes, of course.
And
Oprah needs a coach, right? Maybe are you coaching Oprah in this scenario?
Will you come to Santa Barbara adjacent, whatever, Montecito, or Hawaii, whatever she has there? Will you come to work with our staff one-on-one?
Wow.
Yes. I will come.
In both of these scenarios, you have a reputation that people know. And they're like, we've heard about you. People are talking about you. We need you. Okay. I could see that. You'd be good at that. And what a perk for your staff to be able to offer life coaching.
Right?
That's an amazing perk.
Again, I've talked about this fantasy a little bit of just being a coach for someone who's like a very high impact person. So I think that's,
yes,
Oprah.
That would qualify.
And also, somehow I know I could do it, even though it's like, Oprah, like, could you coach Oprah? Of course I could.
This is like,
she would be a great client.
It's like the equivalent of, can you fly a plane? You're like, yes, of course I can coach Oprah. Tomorrow, I'm ready. You're like, you stay ready to coach Oprah.
Exactly.
Okay.
I know I could.
And your next job?
This last one is, I get a call.
It's a pattern. Okay. Who is it? Who's on the phone?
It's my acting manager from many years ago, who I haven't been in touch with.
What's their name?
Well, I'm not going to say it.
Okay. All right.
I don't want to put them on the spot.
Okay, make up a name.
I don't want to make up a name.
All right. Fine, Malika. I'm trying to live out this fantasy. Yes.
They say, Malika, I know you've been out of industry stuff for a long time, but we got a call from this casting office. It's a big name casting office. And they want to know if you're available to do this show that's gone straight to series, and they want you as a regular on it.
Wow. No audition, just
No audition. We've heard about
no
you.
callback.
We've seen your work.
And no one else could do this.
The showrunners have had you in mind from the beginning.
Oh my
They created
goodness.
this role with you in mind.
Wow.
Are you available?
Are you available?
Yes, I'm available.
Do you have to check in with people or look at your calendar?
No, I'm available.
You're like, I have to get back to Google. Hold on a moment. That's amazing.
Initially, when I was thinking about this here, I was like, I would drop everything to be a series regular on a critically acclaimed TV show.
Right.
And then I was like, you know what? It doesn't have to be critically acclaimed. It's just going to be a TV show. That's enough.
Here's the thing. Once you're on it, it's going to be critically acclaimed.
Right?
Maybe it's not yet, but then once you join, that's definitely where it's headed.
Yeah.
I love this for you. Put it on the list.
Put it on the list. Maybe I can add these things to my list of 100 things.
Your 100 dreams.
100 dreams list.
Yes.
Yeah. It feels very good to just imagine those situations.
So then, yeah, you're learning something about yourself, maybe. Maybe there's something there that you can implement or apply or think about. Like maybe there's aspects of these things you can bring into your life, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you pointed out for at least the first two, it's like they've heard of my work, right?
Yes.
So that kind of makes me think, like, what am I doing now where somebody would actually hear about my work? Or am I operating in those spaces a little bit that it's plausible that my reputation would get out there?
Right.
Not really at this point. It's kind of,
but you could, right? So that's where, like, if you were to present at a conference or if you were to, there's ways that you could put your work out there.
Yeah. It's interesting to think about that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Azizi, what about you?
All right. Well, my list is a little different. And
Okay.
I love my job. And my thoughts are not about money, but it's more about different things that I thought about at different points in my life that I thought.
Okay, like alternative universe jobs.
Yeah, alternative universe would be fun to do at some point, but none of them are high paying, which is interesting. So it's not necessarily about the money. So, okay, here's my first job. And this has to do with when I was in high school. We took a trip to Yosemite. It was my first time there. There was a ranger there that was assigned to my group. And several of us, like, low key had a crush on him. He just was so grounded and peaceful and knowledgeable. And there was something about that experience and then just being in the beauty of Yosemite. And I was like, I want to be a forest ranger. I could do this. I could do this job. What an amazing job to spend your whole life. Like, even at that young age, I had a fantasy about being a forest ranger and, like, whatever. I'm not a forest ranger. Malika, last week, I did another forest bathing session.
Oh, okay.
And I might do another one this week. I love it. And maybe being a forest bathing, like, certified person.
Oh, that's a great
might
idea.
Be in my future because I believe in the power of nature. So there's something there, and it's not the money, obviously. Maybe it's the freedom and just the peace that comes with being outdoors. And yes, no one was looking for me because of my reputation in this gig. So that's my first one.
I love that.
So then when I was an undergrad, I fell in love with a library. I was at UC Berkeley, and the Berkeley Public Library is just an amazing place. And particularly the children's department of the library was so magical, so beautiful. And I just imagined I could work here. Like, what a lovely place to work. I already love children. I've known I've loved children and working with children for so long. And to be someone who brings the magic of literature and just is around books all day. And it's a very orderly environment also, right? It's very quiet. It's very peaceful. There's a place for everything. There was something that was very exciting about that for me. And I actually considered it when I was an undergrad. And then I learned that you have to go to graduate school. It's like a 2-year program.
Library science.
Oh, never mind.
You were a preschool teacher and a kindergarten teacher.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
this is very adjacent.
It is very adjacent. I'd say my dream things are not that far from what I'm doing, which is maybe a
That's
good sign.
great. You're living your,
Pretty
yeah,
consistent with what I want. If I could choose anything, the things I could choose are very similar and have more to do with just peace and order,
yeah.
but still books
Interesting.
and still children's books in my life. So that was one thing. And then my third job, actually, when I was in graduate school. So in high school, undergrad, graduate school. And I talked about this. My graduate school experience was amazing. It was in New York. It was an intensive 2 summers program. And I saw a job listing for like program director on Sesame Street.
Mm.
For Sesame Street, because there's no Sesame Street really. But
On
I
Sesame
immediately
Street.
was like, what if I worked on Sesame Street? Like, again, I love children. I love everything Sesame Street stands for. I watched it as a kid. My kids watched it. And it just brings so much joy to so many
Mm.
children. And I was like, that would be an amazing job to work on Sesame Street. But unfortunately, Sesame Street is in New York. Famously, wasn't ready to make that kind of change. But I did really imagine what that would be like. And maybe if Sesame Street called me one day and was like, we need you,
You would think about it.
I might think about a collaboration. How can I extend my services to Sesame Street? Those are my 3 jobs.
That's so funny, Azizi. We talked a while ago about book people and tree people.
Yes.
And this was a like know yourself better that Gretchen Rubin posited. Are you a book or are you a tree? Tree people kind of their whole life is connected and they grow from one, they have roots in a certain place and profession and they just keep growing branches and their whole life is kind of connected to a central theme. And then book people, it's like you flip the page, it's a new chapter, new situation, new chapter, or a new book, I guess.
Right.
And I'm definitely a book person, and you are
Yes.
definitely a tree person.
I am. I'm accepting it.
Your fantasies are all a part of what you already do.
They're not that different than what I do. And this is me like, you could do anything. I'd like to be a children's librarian. It's like when you first said that, oh, you're a tree. I was like, what? I could do anything. I'm not a tree. And now I just realized I just am. And today I was at a hiring fair. It was fantastic. It was a hiring fair that I started on the planning committee of like 3 years ago, and I did it for a couple of years. I've been away from it for a long time, but it's in the independent school world. And I know so many people there. And it's because I've been in the same job in the same area, in the same place, and not in the same job, but I've worked in the same industry. And so I've gotten to build all of these relationships over time. And then at the very end of the fair, I'm packing up and someone came up to me and they looked familiar and they're like, oh my gosh, I wanted to introduce myself to you. I'm this person's mom who you worked with. And I was like, oh
Wow.
my God, like now the next generation of people are introducing themselves to me because I've just been in it so long. In it, I like that feeling. I like that feeling. So I am 100% tree.
That's great.
I also see the value in being aspirational, and maybe I can push
Sure.
myself a little bit more out of my reach. Or what would that aspirational thing be?
If it makes you happy, it makes you happy. This is a good who am I? Because it's just good to check in with those deeper dreams and desires, to give ourselves permission to think what if. And if your what
Yeah.
if is just right next door to your what is, think that's positive.
Yeah, it is something.
It's just fun to think about.
It is fun to think about. That was a good prompt. When you suggested this prompt, I then heard it like 2 more times in different contexts.
Oh, funny.
It's just been out there. So, yeah, I'm curious if our listeners have thought about their dream jobs or what aspirational things would they want to do or would be willing to transition to. Let us know.
Let us know. Well, let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll talk about something feeding our souls.
The Lincoln Spring Sales event is on now, and there's never been a better time to experience the feeling of driving a Lincoln. Pictures, sunlight through the available panoramic vista roof, music, weather, and maps on the 48-inch panoramic display, and a drive so smooth that inspiration rides up front. Stepping out better than you got in. That's the Lincoln feeling. Get behind the wheel of the 2026 Lincoln Nautilus SUV and discover exceptional offers only at your local Lincoln retailer.
Refreshing wild cherry cola meets smooth cream. The treat you deserve. Pepsi Wild Cherry and Cream. Treat yourself.
And we are back with Take a Breath, where we share something that's feeding our soul. Azizi, what is feeding your soul?
I can't stop thinking about a talk that I went to at this conference. I may have mentioned it before. I was in Seattle at an independent school conference, and the opening keynote speaker, her name was Cassie Holmes, and she is a professor of marketing and behavioral decision making at UCLA. And she is the author of a book called Happier Hour. And her whole talk was about how you can, through planning and being intentional about your time, create the happier life that you deserve. And this is like so up my alley. I was so excited when she started to talk about planning and different strategies around planning. It was like, yes, this is what we do. So it was really cool to hear her perspective and her research on time. And she talked at the very beginning about a story where she was running late. She was trying to catch the last train to get back home. And, as she was like running and trying to catch this train, she was just evaluating, going over all of her life choices and feeling like she just needs more time, and why is she rushed, and why can't she have more time to do the things that she wants to do. And so she's done research around discretionary time and wanting to understand if more discretionary time would lead to more happiness. Like maybe the answer is we just need to do less and we need more time. And through her research, she learned that actually there is some positive benefit from having some discretionary time, but there's a limit. And having more discretionary time or unlimited discretionary time doesn't lead to happiness, because then there's a lack of purpose that will come into your life. So it's not about more time. It's just about being purposeful with your time and having the ability to do what makes you happy in your time, but not necessarily just having more discretionary time. So that was an interesting research. And I kind of know it. Like I'm a person who winter break, I get 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks would be perfect. If I have more, I'm not necessarily going to be happier, or at least I need to know that I am coming back to something with more structure and purpose. I personally don't just want a lot of free time, which is why I tend to be busy.
Well, yeah, I was thinking even if you had 3 weeks, you would just fill it with projects and things.
But if it was unstructured time, right?
You do get time off, right?
I get time off, but I wouldn't want a month with nothing planned or right. Like, yes, I volunteer. I'm a part of other organizations because that provides structure and purpose. And so if I didn't have those things and I just had that amount of time not doing any of those things, it wouldn't make me happy.
Right. I mean, I can't imagine a world in which you wouldn't have those things, is what I'm saying, I guess.
And those are things that I've sought and that
you've made them for yourself.
Right. I value and are important to me. But someone else will come along and say, like, why are you involved in so many things? But it's because spending my time in those ways brings me purpose and makes me happy.
There were 3 points that really stood out to you in this talk.
Right.
So the first one was, what are your golf balls?
Right. So Cassie referenced a video clip of a professor talking to his students. And this professor had a jar that was filled with golf balls, like filled. And the professor asked the students, is the jar full? And people said, yeah, it's full. And then he took pebbles and he poured pebbles into this jar with the golf balls, and the pebbles filled up to the top. And the professor asked the students, is the jar full? And they said, yeah, it's full. And then he took sand and he was able to pour sand in, and the sand filled in the spaces that the pebbles didn't. And he said, "Is this jar full?" And they said, "Yes, it's full." And then he was able to pour some water in, So you get the point. And the point that she was making was, if you start with the golf balls, and these are the things that are the most important, that bring you the most joy, start with that first. And then you'll find room for all those other things to go around what the most essential things are for you. And I thought, wow, I love a visual.
Yes.
Because I'm into sketch notes, I actually drew this visual in my iPad. But it's just, start with the big important things, and then everything else you can work around those things so that they are immovable. And that is, I think, a powerful metaphor for thinking about how to organize your life.
Yeah. That would be a good image to have like in your weekly routine checklist or your weekly scheduling checklist or
Yeah.
map,
Where are your golf balls this week?
Yeah.
Where are the pebbles? Other important things. Yeah, sort of in that order, planning your week.
Okay. So the next point was recall your joyful activities.
Right. So to understand what your golf balls are, you need to be able to predict and know what's going to bring you joy. And Cassie said, which I've heard before, that humans are terrible at predicting the future. We might think we know how we're going to feel about a thing, but we're actually not really good at that. But what we can benefit from is looking back. So tracking, what were the moments that brought you the most joy? Or this week, what were the things that brought me the most joy? And over time, then you'll start to understand, and then you'll better be able to predict what is it that's going to bring you joy in the future. So taking time to incorporate that question into your reflection, into your day, into your week, what were those moments that brought the most joy, and actually tracking them so that then you can get a better sense of, okay, I need to make sure that I'm making space for these kinds of things because I know in the past they brought me joy. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. I do this in my weekly routine. I do some aspect of this, and it is really helpful and also hard to make the time to do it.
Yeah. I feel like I'm pretty good at asking that question regularly, but I'm not good at reflecting on previous answers. So that's something, like, even if I write it down in my journal, I'm never rereading my journal.
Yeah.
So I think there is something powerful just from acknowledging it and reflecting on it
Yeah.
in the short term. But it sounds like the next step is reviewing it.
Yes, because you want to learn about you.
Yeah.
And you need to read, because you're not going to remember on a Tuesday in January last year how you felt or what was a thing that excited you.
Cold.
This year you might remember. Always it's cold. But it's important to document it, to write it down, and then to look back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the final point is elevate a routine to a ritual.
This was very sweet. She told a story about how she, as a part of her drop off routine, would have to take her oldest child to school. And then she had a preschool age child that she needed to take to school, but there was a place where she just wanted to grab a coffee on the way to drop her off. And so she would drop off her older child, grab a coffee, drop off her younger child. And then she realized that this is a moment, actually, this routine, which is just kind of mundane, it happens every day, is an opportunity to turn into a ritual, which would make it more enjoyable and make it more memorable. And so she decided to call it a coffee date with her daughter. And so now, instead of just grabbing a coffee and going, she makes time to sit down with her daughter. Her daughter gets a hot chocolate. She gets a coffee. They catch up for 5
Cute.
minutes, and then they drop her off. And right? Isn't that cute? And we can imagine these times in our week, which are like throwaway times of things that we
Yeah.
do consistently. We do the same, or we don't give it a lot of thought. But if we can elevate it to a ritual and romanticize it in some way, then it creates meaning and purpose, and is sort of a way of adding purposeful time back to our lives. So you and I talk about rituals, Malika. Sometimes we talk about
We do.
romanticizing things, but there's something about the way she said it that created an opportunity for me. I was like, oh, I want to think more about my day, and where is there an opportunity for me to elevate something to a ritual.
Is there something that stands out to you that you would want to try to elevate?
I have this in mind. It's been in mind for a while. I don't have a solid transition into the house routine after work. We've talked about this. I sit in the car for a little bit, But even then, like maybe there's something I can do with scent, or maybe there's something I can do in the car before I come in that makes it more of a ritual. Or once I get in, if there's a consistent thing that I do that is more, I don't know, creative, or I'm thinking about the transition from work to home a little bit. What about you?
Okay.
Can you think of anything?
Well, the thing that came to mind is like after dinner, I kind of just want to hit the bed, like hit the ground.
Straight to bed.
But there's a time where, let's say both kids are asleep and either Norm or I will make the lunch for the next day or the lunch and the breakfast for the next day. Sometimes, I guess before I was back at work, we were able to do it while I was making dinner, but now it's just like everything is so compressed.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's one of those things, like it has to be done every day. Maybe there's an opportunity if Norm and I occasionally will be in the kitchen at the same time and we'll do it together. And then it's like, oh, we're talking to each other and
catching up or something.
yeah, but maybe there's a way to elevate that where if we're doing it together and it's kind of a check-in, or I don't know. Otherwise, it's just like one person's task and you kind of just get through it.
Yeah. But like, even if it was just one person's task, how could you make that task more enjoyable for you?
Well, I usually will put on a YouTube video or something in the kitchen, so that helps. I'm like, if only I could listen to fan fiction
All right.
on my podcast. Anyway, but somehow,
Yeah.
I think maybe if that could be a time when I call mommy and daddy, maybe because they're awake.
Yeah.
But somehow elevating that so it's not just like a slog to get through
Yeah.
at the end of the night.
If you could add one piece to it, that would make it feel more luxurious.
Yeah.
What would that one piece be? And yes, of course, adding your husband would be nice. But so if you can't add your husband, doesn't mean you should have to slog alone.
Right. Well, very interesting ideas, Azizi.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm interested in reading her book and getting more ideas, but these were the ones that stood out for me.
Well, let's take a break, and when we get back, we will share our peaks and valleys.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
And we're back with peaks and valleys, because in life there are always peaks and there are always valleys. This is an odd episode, so Malika is up first with the peak.
All right. So my peak is that I got to take a little solo trip, just an overnight. I went to Boston to visit my friend, and she had invited me to a heated rivalry themed dance party with
Wow.
another mom.
Oh my goodness.
I think I did mention this, and I know I'm at peak heated rivalry that I just talk about it on every episode. I know somebody out there gets it with me. I know you do, Azizi.
I get
feel
it.
like
I get
I
it.
have to acknowledge it's a lot. I feel like I want to cut myself off from at least talking about it because
But you know what? Maybe it's going to be like me in Disneyland. Like it's just going to always be
might
there
be.
and you never get tired of it.
that's how it feels. It's just this new, exciting, fun thing. But it was great. I went to Boston by myself. I stayed in a hotel. It was just really good to be alone. And then it was good to be with friends,
Yeah.
being silly and just like pure joy, dancing and watching all these clips and being able to obsess about this thing that we all enjoy. And one of them asked me, like, what were you into in high school or middle school? Like, have you ever been a fan like this before? Like, was I into a boy band or anything? And I honestly, I couldn't think of anything that has captured me this way.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you can recall something. I mean, I've been into music and things, but nothing like to this degree. So maybe I'm just coming into that phase later, later in life.
It's a good question, isn't it? Like when I think about it, I don't know that I was a huge fan of anything either as a child. I mean, I did like Hello Kitty, but not like that. Like not like
Yeah.
this. No.
Not like
No.
this. So
Not like this. So it's fun. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you found your community. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the books, but I don't have an urge or desire to take these steps.
to go to an event.
Yeah. I don't have that desire, but I'm so happy for you. And also, when's the last time you got to take a trip alone?
Certainly since before Quincy was born. So I did a work trip, I think, when I was pregnant.
Right.
Well, I went to Montreal.
Oh, that's right. That was probably the last one, right?
Yeah. So that was a little less than a year ago.
Yeah.
But
That's a long time. It's a long time.
and it was fun. It wasn't very long, but it was very sweet and fun, and I'm glad I could do it. It was invigorating.
Yay. Happy for you.
Thank you. So, Azizi, what is your valley?
So I'm now doing this thing where I have in mind what I'm going to wear in the morning before I go to work. The night before, I have
Yeah.
something in mind, go to bed, wake up, put on the thing, and then I don't like it. And then I have to then put on another thing, and it just devolves. It's not good. And then I'm late, and there's clothes everywhere, and I should just stick with one thing. I don't know why this keeps happening. So this is just, I don't know. I think I need to actually try the clothes on because in my head it's going to be good. But then when I put it together, I'm not feeling it. Indecisiveness.
Maybe you need to take a picture of it.
I think if I just had it on, if I like went that far, we've talked about this a while ago, a capsule wardrobe.
Yeah.
Like there's still a place for if I have tried everything and I know what it looks like all together, then I don't run into this problem. But anyway, here I am.
Okay.
Something to work through.
That brings us to the end. Azizi, what are you going to try this week?
I am going to figure out my clothing situation and not devolve and try on 5 outfits before I have to walk out the door. That's my
Okay.
plan.
Sounds like a plan.
What about you, Malika?
I will try to think about that routine, the lunch routine, and how to elevate that. I feel like the whole end of the night should be elevated.
Okay.
But-
Elevate the wind down. Elevate the end of the night phase.
Yeah.
Give it a name. What's the name of it?
I don't know.
All right.
The
Right
end
there.
is what
No,
comes up.
that's too dark. That's way too dark. You gotta lighten it up.
I'll think about it.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening to this episode. You can find our show notes in the episode description. If you like us, please rate, review, and tell a friend. And don't forget to follow us.
Send us a message at happierladies@gmail.com.
Our show was edited by Magnus Bjorgum, and our theme music was created by Wyatt Muncie.
You can find us on Instagram and YouTube at Happier Ladies and at happierladies.substack.com. All right, Malika, have a happier week.
Have a happier week, Azizi. Bye.
Bye.
And we are back with Take a Breath, where we share something that's feeding our soul. Azizi,
Go ahead.
you're up. I was just going to say.
Say that again.
Azizi, what is feeding your soul?
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.